The other thing to be said, and this might sound very, very harsh, actually, because this couple is living together in a sexual relationship and we're not calling it marriage, the Bible would actually have another word for this: sexual immorality. Welcome to our Messy Q&A. We have another great question that's been submitted to us this week. My name's Pastor Dale, and I'm happy to be chatting with you today. Thanks for giving us a couple of minutes of your time. So, here's the question. What to say to a young couple, in brackets male and female, who want to live together without getting married? They're very mature and are very much in love, and they respect one another and say, quote, "Why is marriage necessary?" End quote. We love each other and we want to be together for life. There's no need to get married. They are using a natural family planning method. Please help with how to discuss this with them. Thank you so very much, and may God bless you. All right, well, hopefully what I'm going to say is helpful here. The first thing I have to say about the natural family planning method, there's another word for that. It's called pregnancy. For those of you that don't know what it is, look it up, but it's basically avoiding sexual intercourse when the female is in particular fertile. But I have known and have heard of many people who are practicing this who end up getting pregnant. So in terms of avoiding consequences, there's probably a better way to do it, because having sex leads to babies. Just saying that. I think if Jesus was thrown this question, he would probably take a couple back to initial design. In the beginning, God made them male and female, and they lived together in covenant relationship. And marriage has always been treated in the Bible as covenant. Now, it has to be acknowledged also that there are times in the Bible where polygamy was expressed or experienced by key biblical characters, where culture actually impacted and affected the way people practiced marriage. And there were actually like practical aspects to that too, in terms of care for people back in the day. But we're dealing with something very similar here, which is where culture comes back in and affects our practice of marriage. But marriage has always been a social contract as well as a personal commitment. So this couple, for example, might say, well, we're committed to each other, we love each other, we're not like sleeping around with other people, we're not planning on leaving. But marriage has always been a social contract as well. And so when a couple comes in and says, well, we're just going to live together as a married couple, well, what they've effectively done too is remove the social contract aspect of this. The other thing to be said, and this might sound very, very harsh, actually, because this couple is living together in a sexual relationship and we're not calling it marriage, the Bible would actually have another word for this: sexual immorality is the word. And that sounds very harsh, again, but God gives us guidelines for our own good. A part of the guideline here is when you make a covenant with another person, you've made a commitment to be with them forever, for life. Now, the statistics around this are quite telling, is that people who are not getting married have a higher chance of separating and divorce. People who do not cohabitate before marriage, who get married and live together, have a higher chance of a successful relationship. There really is power to commitment, and for those of us who've been married for any length of time, we know and we acknowledge that sometimes the only thing that has kept us together with our partner is the fact that we made a promise, because we all go through seasons of marriage. And can you imagine going through difficult seasons, not having that backdrop and just going, this is too hard, I'm out of here. The other question I would ask this couple is, what are they afraid of? I mean, if they're living together like they're married, if they're intending to live together for the rest of their life, why not get married? It appears to me that the decision to not get married is based out of fear of something. And my question would be to this couple, what are they afraid of? If we're just relying on the power of our word given to another person, well, we're relying on the power of our heart, and Jeremiah has something to say about that. Well, the heart is deceptively wicked above all things. Who can know it? And there's a reason for God to give us the guidelines He has for human flourishing. And marriage, committed covenantal marriage, is God's design for us in human flourishing. God is not a cosmic party pooper. He's not trying to be a killjoy. He's not trying to rob us of things that might otherwise give us pleasure. He's saying, guys, here are the boundaries in which you will best flourish. And marriage is one of those things, the covenant of marriage. So there's theological reasons, there's emotional reasons, there's practical reasons. All of these are solid reasons to encourage a couple to get married. So look, continue to pray for you. If it's helpful, you might just want to sit down with them and watch this video with them. If you're a parent, and I'm figuring you are, thinking about potentially maybe your own kids or a younger generational person that you know, it might be helpful to sit down in relationship and just talk through this with them, because these kinds of discussions are always best had not from a distance, but actually up close, holding their hand, looking them in the eye, communicating care, and showing that you actually want the best for them. I think that's the way God is with us. I think it's the way we should be with each other. So God bless. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.